Welcome back. All right, 6 games tonight in the National Hockey League. I have no idea how many people are actually going to watch this review because, I mean, trade deadline, so we're all kind of spent, right? But at any rate, the games still go on. There are 10 games tomorrow as well. I've already done the preview for that on the channel, so if you're looking, that's already up there. All right, we're going to start things off talking about Winnipeg and New Jersey. It was Hellebuck versus Markstrom, and the Devils wearing the jersey. The only thing that's missing is I don't have a magnet that just says jersey. And I feel bad that I don't have one, but I've never seen one available. So, and I mean like, a sticker or a decal or decal. I call it decal. DeMello has a rush chance that's held. The Jets press at 2.5 minutes. He sure has a rush chance that's saved. Shots are 3 apiece 6 minutes in. Jets forechecking is causing some turnovers. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. No shots on net for New Jersey there. Devils press briefly after it's done. The shots are 5-3 Winnipeg with 5 minutes left. Brad has a net feed that gets picked off. The Jets press with 3 minutes left. The Devils hit the goal line, but it does not cross, and the Jets clear it. And then at 18:26, Iafallo buries a rebound at the net. Miller and Stanley with the assists. It's 1-0 Winnipeg. The Devils look to respond, but it stays 1-0 after the first. Second period, we get a power play for the Jets, and they score at 3:48. Morrissey buries a rebound, so it's another rebound goal. Ehlers and Connor with the assists, making it 2-0 Winnipeg. Jets press for another. Meyer has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 8-4 Winnipeg at 8 minutes. Teams trade turnovers. Ehlers has a net drive chance that's held. We get a power play for Winnipeg. That's killed off. No shots on net. Pionk then has a one-timer that's held. He sheer fires one wide on a rush. The Jets press with 4.5 minutes left. With 3:35 left, the Devils get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Connor. That's saved. The power play's killed off. No shots on net there. Devils press in the final minute. Nemesnikov has a rush chance that's held. And then on the face-off that follows, Winnipeg sets up a goal. Ehlers puts one past a screen from the slot. DeMello and Morrissey with the assists at 19:29. It's 3-0. That's your score for Winnipeg after 2. Third period, 30 seconds in, Mercer makes things interesting on a one-timer from the left circle. Kovacevic and Palat with the assists, so Kovacevic with a helper after signing that extension. Devils press for another. Kovacevic, he has a shot that's blocked. Things get pushed in a hold by Hellebuck. Then there's a near miss by Meyer. It's all Devils to that point of the period. In fact, the shots are 6-1 New Jersey at 5.5 minutes. Morrissey then has a slot shot that's held. Devils press at 8.5 minutes. And then at 11:56, Lowry goes posting in to restore the 3-goal lead for the Jets. And that's on a net drive. And then at 14:19, Connor roofs one far corner. Scheifele and Velarde with the assists. And, of course, now the momentum's all with Winnipeg at 16:55. Perfetti scores from Sandberg and Ehlers. This is on a tip in close. The final score in this one, 6-1. So the no mercy magnet's out. Winnipeg wins this one. They go to 44-16-4 with a pretty resounding victory. New Jersey 33-25-6. Their struggles continue. Shots on net 11-7 Winnipeg in the first, 14-7 Winnipeg in the second, 10-9 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots 35-23 for the Jets. Power plays, the Jets 1 for 2. New Jersey 0 for 2. The hits 32-23 for New Jersey. Hellebuck, good night for him. 22 saves on 23 shots. Markstrom, less so. 29 saves on 35 shots. All right, next up, Detroit and Washington. So it's Talbot versus Thompson, and at 43 seconds, Larkin banks one in off Thompson. So early lead for the Detroit Red Wings. Wings look for another. The Caps press at 3 minutes. Can't get to the net. Comfer then hits the outside of the post. The shots are 5-0 Detroit, 5.5 minutes in. The Wings eventually draw a power play, and then at 7 minutes, Sider scores during said power play from Kane and Raymond. It's 2-0 for Detroit. Dowd can't bury one in close. We then had a fight between Shine and Duhaime. The shots are 10-4 Detroit with 5.5 minutes left. The fans call one. The referee does not. We get a kick save on an Ethan Frank chance as the Capitals get some pressure. And then at 18:39, Radish buries a rebound to make it 2-1. Mangiapane and Sandin with the assist. So it's 2-1 for Detroit after one period of play. Second period, there's an early press by the Caps. Good forechecking by Washington. Wings press at 4 minutes. Capitals block the path to the net. The shots are 2-1 Detroit at 6 minutes. Capitals with some pressure at the half. The teams trade rushes. Press by Washington with 7 minutes left. In fact, the shots are 8-5 for Washington with 6 minutes left. And by the end of the period, not only did Detroit not get another shot, they took one of the shots away from them. Caps press with 3 minutes left. We have a net feed to Protas that's blocked with 41.7 seconds left. Detroit goes to the power play. So Detroit's still up 2-1 after 2, even though they didn't have a great second period. In the third period, things don't go great off the start. At 51 seconds, on a rush, Protas scores shorthanded from Tom Wilson. He goes far corner on that one. We have a 2-2 tie. Caps then finish the kill, and not long after, at 1:57, Chychrun scores that one from Strome. That's goals on back-to-back shots for Washington, and now they have the lead. Wings all of a sudden have no room with the puck, and at 5:17, Protas goes short side from the slot. McMichael and Carlson with the assist. That was the 5th shot of the period for Washington, and their 3rd goal. We then get a power play for Detroit, which leads to another goal for the Capitals. At 9:19, Wilson goes backhand on a breakaway to make it 5-2. Protas with the assist there. Caps finish the kill. We then get a power play for Washington. That's killed off. Rough night for Detroit. They had a 2-0 lead, and they blew it. Detroit's becoming one of those teams I don't trust them when they have the lead. Washington wins 5-2. They go to 41-14-8 with the win. Detroit 30-27-6 with the loss. Shots on net 10-9 Detroit in the first, 9-4 Washington in the second, 11-6 Washington in the third. Final shots 29-20 for the Capitals. Power plays Detroit 1 for 3. Washington 0 for 1. The hits 16-12 Washington. Talbot, rough night, 24 saves on 29 shots. Thompson, 18 saves on 20 shots. All right, next up, the Utah Hockey Club in Chicago against the Hawks. I said the Hawks were fun to watch. Vejmelka versus Knight, and I'll keep saying it. At 56 seconds, Utah scores on their first shot. Schmaltz from Keller on that one. Utah presses for another. There's a post for Kerfoot. It's all Utah early on here. Bedard has a slot shot. That saved the Hawks press at 6.5 minutes. Schmaltz is denied from the doorstep. The teams trade turnovers. Somehow the shots are only 3 apiece at 9 minutes. Utah had a ton of zone time to that stage. We then get a delay game call. That gives a power play to the Hawks. That's killed off. We then get a power play for Utah, and that's killed off as well. Then we had a fight between Carcone and Donato. I didn't see that coming, but it's 1-0 Utah after 1. Second period. Martinez takes a puck to the chin. That looked painful. Hopefully he didn't lose any teeth there. Hawks press at 3.5 minutes. We get a shot. The shots are 5-2 for Chicago at 4.5 minutes. Utah has a 3-on-2 chance. That's defended by Chicago. Near miss for Gunther and close. Utah presses at 8 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Knight. And then at 9:21, Kaiser wires one from the slot. Bedard with the assist. First time in a while I've put Bedard's name on the board that I can remember for a point. Hawks then look for the lead. Donato has a net drive chance that's saved. The shots are 11-10 for Chicago with 7.5 minutes left. And at 12:50, Mikheyev gets, I believe, his 13th of the season. He goes far side on a net drive, and Donato with the assist there. We then had a fight between O'Brien and Maroon. Things get pushy on a hold by Knight, and then Nazar is awarded a penalty shot, and he scores on it. At 14:30, he roofs one on a backhand. It was a nice goal. Nazar with the goal to make it 3-1. Donato then has a net drive that's blocked. It's 3-1 Chicago after 2. Third period, good forechecking by the Hawks, but Utah presses at 3 minutes, and they're leading in shots 3-0 4 minutes into the period. Schmaltz has a one-timer that's held, and then at 5:04, Marino puts one top corner past a screen. Sergachev with the assist. It's 3-2. Utah presses at 8.5 minutes. Eventually, they draw a power play, and they score on it. It is Keller from Sergachev at 12:16. Utah then looks for the lead. Again, more pushing and shoving on a hold by Knight. These teams, a lot of that back and forth. The referee never just took one of them out of a scrum there. So we go to overtime. Utah controls early. Eventually, after Utah's had the puck for a bit, Chicago would get it. And Bedard wires one from the slot. Del Mastro and Teravainen with the assists at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Chicago wins in overtime. That's 20 wins for Chicago. They go to 20-35-8 with the win. With the loss in overtime, Utah drops to 28-25-10. Shots on net, 7-5 Utah in the first, 15-13 Utah in the second, 15-5 Utah in the third. In the overtime, both teams had 2 shots. Chicago the shot that matters. Final shots, 39-25 for Utah. Power plays, Utah 1 for 2, Chicago 0 for 1. The hits, 20-12 Chicago. Vejmelka saves 21 out of 25 in the loss. Spencer Knight, another very good game. 36 saves on 39 shots. He keeps playing like this. They'll be retiring his number within a couple years. At any rate, let's go to board number 2. All right, the Minnesota Wild in Vancouver against the Canucks. Gustafsson versus Lankinen. We get an early press by Vancouver. Shots are 1 apiece at 3 minutes. Mancini has a net feed that's blocked. I thought Mancini had a good game tonight. Canucks press at 7 minutes. Wild gets some pressure at 9.5 minutes. Merrill has a one-timer that's kicked aside. We get a power play for Vancouver. There's a shorthanded rush by Johansson that's saved. So that power play's killed off. Vancouver has no shots. The only shot during that power play was Johansson's shorthanded. Canucks go back to the power play. and they score on it. At 16-14, it is Elias Pettersson from Hronik and Besser, so we get the Let's Go PD chants. It was not the only time we heard those tonight. Hartman versus Sherwood, and on that play, Sherwood took a penalty as well, so there's a power play for the Wild. That's killed off. No shots for Minnesota during that power play. It's 1-0 Vancouver after 1. Second period, early press by the Canucks. Hedl has a net feed that's kicked or sent aside. The Wild press are kept to the outside. Shots are 2-0 Minnesota at 4.5 minutes. Joshua couldn't bury a loose puck in close. I don't know how Pettersson didn't get that there either. If he'd got his second goal, the roof would have come off the place. Teams trade turnovers. The Wild press at 7.5 minutes. The Canucks get pinned down. They're blocking the net. Pretty well, though. We get a press by Vancouver at 9.5 minutes. DeBrusk with a wraparound chance. That's defended. Mancini then has a wrister that's held. Shots are 12-4 for Minnesota with 4.5 minutes left. 2:37 left. The Canucks get a power play. Besser fires one wide from the slot. And then on a shorthanded play, Nyquist hits the post. That power play's killed off. Very close. But 1-0 Vancouver after 2. Third period, shots are 2-1 Vancouver at 3 minutes. Hronik blocks a Johansson wraparound that definitely would have gone in. We then get a power play for the Wild, and they score on it. Faber with his first goal in a bit. Rossi and Boldy with the assists at 7 minutes and 12 seconds. It's a 1-1 tie. And Sherwood broke his stick on the play, and so while he's exiting to get another stick, it makes it a 5-on-3. I don't like when a penalty killer, even if their stick breaks, decides to go to the bench and get another stick. I know that it's in their zone, but still, you're throwing off the other penalty killers. You're better off to go 5-on-3.5, as I've always termed it. The Wild then press for the lead. It's really all Wild. The Canucks are a step behind. Shots are 11-3 for Minnesota with 9.5 minutes left, and the Canucks are icing the puck often as well. Lankinen, honestly, very heroic in the third until at 16-15. Sherwood buries one from the side of the net. Hronik with the assist, so Sherwood making up for going to get the stick, then that power play goal going in. It's 2-1 for Vancouver. Hedl's denied on a net drive. The goalie pull happens with 1:15 left, and at 19:06, Bluger hits the empty net from Suter to make it a 3-1 lead. Minnesota would pull the goaltender again to no avail. Vancouver wins this one 3-1. They go to 29, 22, and 11. They move back above the playoff line with this result tonight. Will they stay there? Tomorrow will tell us. Minnesota 36, 23, and 4. Minnesota continues to not get points. And now they're out of the number 3 spot. I do believe that with this result tonight, Colorado is now third in the division. Shots on net, 10-6 Minnesota in the first, 13-8 Minnesota in the second, 15-6 Minnesota in the third. Final shots, 38-20 for the Wild. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 2, Vancouver 1 for 3. The hits, 31-29 Minnesota. Gustafsson, 17 saves on 19 shots. Lankinen, heroic, 37 saves on 38 shots. He had one of those games. He is known to have those games. All right, next up, Pittsburgh and Vegas. Nedeljkovic versus Samsonov. Early Vegas power play is killed off. No shots on net. Pittsburgh gets away with one there. Shots are 2-0 for the Penguins at 3.5 minutes. The weird thing with this game is Pittsburgh played all right through a lot of this. Vegas goes back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Penguins press with 9 minutes left. Shots are 6-2 for Pittsburgh with 8 minutes left. But at 12:58, Pearson roofs one from the slot. Stone and Whitecloud with the assists. Eichel then has a net feed. That's picked off. The teams trade turnovers. With 1:50 left, Vegas gets their third power play. That's killed off as well. So those are the only power plays in the game. Pittsburgh never had one. We go to the second period where, of course, the last 10 seconds are killed off by Pittsburgh. And 3.5 minutes in, Vegas has the only shot on net. At 4:38, Vegas scores. Barbashev from Stone and Haig. The teams then trade turnovers. The Penguins press at 6 minutes. Nedeljkovic with a bit of an oops, but he recovers and his defense bails him out there. Eichel has a net feed. That's held. Shots are 7-6 Vegas with 9.5 minutes left. Penguins press with 6 minutes left. A net feed to Stone gets blocked. Good forechecking by Vegas. Penguins press with a minute and a half left. And I'll say it again. The Penguins had some good zone time, some good looks, but they're down 2-0 after 2. Third period, 2 minutes in. Saad scores to make it 3-0 from Hertl and McNabb. Penguins press to respond, but then the Vegas Golden Knights rush the other way and they score again. At 2:54, it's Stone from Pearson and Eichel. Nice deke in close, too, for Stone to get it around Nedeljkovic. Tomasino then misses one wide from in close. The shots are 2-1 Vegas at 5 minutes. So mathematicians out there, it means they scored on both of their shots in that period. Vegas presses at 6 minutes. Novak fires one wide on a net drive. Shots are 6-3 Vegas with 8 minutes left. Howden has a breakaway chance that's saved. Hannafin has a screenshot that's saved as well. Vegas presses with 6 minutes left. And honestly, they had a really good third period. Pittsburgh was kind of done at that stage. Vegas wins this one 4-0. They go to 38-18-6 with the win. Pittsburgh 24-31-10 with the loss. Shots on net 9-6 Pittsburgh in the first, 9 apiece in the second, and then 12-4 Vegas in the third. Final shots 27-22 Vegas. Pittsburgh didn't have a power play. Vegas went 0 for 3. The hits 26-15 for Pittsburgh. Nedeljkovic 23 saves on 27 shots. Samsonov saved all 22 for a shutout. That's a much needed shutout for Samsonov. He's had a rough time of it lately. That should pick up his confidence, and who knows, it might help him in subsequent games down the stretch. All right, last game of the night. St. Louis in Anaheim against the Ducks. So it's Binnington versus Dostal. The Ducks press at 2 minutes. At 2:37, though, from a distance, Toropchenko puts one past a screen into the net. Leddy and Fowler with the assists. So Cam Fowler, who was greeted warmly by Anaheim fans in his return, he gets an assist for St. Louis there. Blues look for another. There's a press by St. Louis at 5.5 minutes. Shots are 6-4 for the Blues, 6.5 minutes in. Ducks press at 9 minutes. We get a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. The Blues get another power play. That's killed off as well. The Ducks, the Blues, that was their first power play. There was some power play stuff going on. That's the only power play the Blues had in the whole game, too. But then the Ducks get their second power play, and they score on it. It is Lacombe with a point shot past the screen. McTavish and Carlson with the assists at 14:48. Lacombe continues to have a strong season. It's 1-1. Blues press with 2.5 minutes left. Joseph has a tip shot. That's held. It's 1-1 after the first. Second period, Holloway has a rush chance that's saved. Shots are 2-1 for the Ducks at 3 minutes. Carlson has a net drive that's saved. Things get pushed in a hole by Binnington. We get a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. Blues press at 8 minutes. And then at 10:49 on a tic-tac-toe play, it's Braden Shen finishing it to make it 2-1 St. Louis. Holloway and Kyrou with the assists. Blues press with 5 minutes left. With 2:35 left, the Ducks get a power play. That's killed off. But it's 2-1 for St. Louis after 2. Third period. Early press by the Blues. In fact, the shots are 3-0 in their favor at 5 minutes. And at 5:21, Bolduc, during a delayed penalty on a rush. Nice goal by Bolduc. Fowler and Toropchenko with the assist. So there's Fowler with another assist. Rude in your homecoming. But that makes it 3-1. Ducks press at the half. Shen has a 3-on-2 chance this block. Shots are 6-5 for the Ducks with 6 minutes left. And then at 16:58, Vetrano scores from Troy Terry to make things a little bit closer. So they pull the goaltender, and Braden Shen hits the empty net from Falk at 18:13. But you got to pull the goaltender again, and when they do, they actually score at 19:17. It's Killorn from Terry and Vetrano. So that makes it 4-3. You pull the goalie again, and they would score again just after the time expires. So the Ducks score, but it's just after the clock has expired. So St. Louis wins this one 4-3. They go to 31-27-6 with the win. Anaheim's back below 500, 27-28-7 with the loss. Shots on net, 10-8 St. Louis in the first, 7-6 Anaheim in the second, 8-6 Anaheim in the third. Final shots 23-22 in favor of Anaheim. Power play St. Louis 0 for 1, Anaheim 1 for 4. The hits 29-17 in favor of Anaheim. Binnington saves 20 out of 23. Dostal 18 saves on 21 shots. So you're all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.